There's a scene in Good Will Hunting where Robin Williams' character Sean sits across from Will and says something quietly devastating. He doesn't shout it, he doesn't make it dramatic, he just looks at Will and says, "It's not your fault." And Will laughs it off, deflects, gets uncomfortable, does everything a person does when someone is getting too close to something real. Because Will Hunting is one of the most psychologically accurate portrayals of a specific kind of pain that most people carry but never have words for. The pain of being most hurt by the people you needed most. Not strangers, not enemies, the people who were supposed to be safe. And if you've ever found yourself pushing away the people who actually care about you, sabotaging something good, going cold right when someone gets close, this video is going to explain what's actually happening. Because it's not random, it's not weakness, and it's not who you are. It's a pattern your brain learned to protect you. And understanding it is how you start to change it. It is not a coincidence that the people you depend on the most are the ones who can wound you the most. It is the theory of attachment. Your earliest and most important relationships, parents, caregivers, the people you depended on to survive, have an impact on the way your brain understands love, safety, and closeness. When those relationships are consistent and safe, you grow up with what psychologists call a secure base. You learn that needing someone is okay, that closeness doesn't automatically come with danger. But when those same people, the ones you depended on, became unpredictable, critical, absent, or harmful, your brain learns a different equation. It learns that love equals uncertainty and closeness equals risk. And here's why it's so much worse when it comes from them specifically. With a stranger, pain is just pain. It hurts and then it passes. But when pain comes from someone you needed, it carries extra weight because you were open with them in a way you're not open with anyone else. That openness, that vulnerability is exactly what let them get close enough to wound you. The same door you opened for safety is the one that lets the damage in. A big part people don't understand is, when someone important hurts you, it doesn't just hurt, it asks an interesting question. And most people miss this. When a stranger insults you, the story ends at, "They hurt me." But when it comes from someone who mattered, a parent, a first love, a best friend, the injury doesn't stop there. It turns inward. It becomes, what does this say about me? Maybe I'm not lovable. Maybe I push people away. Maybe there's something fundamentally wrong with me that the people who know me best can see. Psychologists call this an identity wound. It is not just relational damage, it is damage to the story you tell yourself about who you are. And identity wounds are the kind that don't heal on their own. Because they don't just live in memory, they live in the way you read every interaction that comes after. A partner pulling away slightly becomes confirmation. A friend not texting back becomes evidence. A moment of vulnerability becomes something to regret. The wound starts interpreting the world around you. Let us talk about Will Hunting and his defense mechanism. He's not cold because he doesn't care. He's cold because he cares too much and learned that caring leads to getting hurt. So he built a mechanism. Psychologists call it avoidant attachment, and it's elegant in a way as far as survival strategies go. He pushed people away before they get too close, sabotage relationship before they can leave, use humor or anger or brilliance as a wall, stay moving, stay unreachable. If no one can really get to you, no one can really hurt you. Watch Will in that film. Every time someone gets genuinely close, Skylar, Sean, Chucky, he finds a way to create distance. He picks a fight, he disappears, he says something designed to push them out the door before they choose to walk out on their own. Because in his experience, the people you need always leave, or hurt you, or both. So he preempts it. And here's the thing, this strategy works. As a short-term protection mechanism, it is genuinely effective. The problem is what it costs over time. There is a painful loop and pattern to this that needs to be laid out clearly. You need connection. That is not a character flaw, that is biology. Human beings are wired for closeness. But the people who gave you your earliest experience of closeness have also hurt you, so your nervous system learned to associate the two. So now you crave connection and fear it at the same time. You want someone close, and the moment they get close, something in you gets uncomfortable. You start scanning for the moment they'll disappoint you, or you pull back first, or you test them, consciously or not, just to see how much they can take before they leave. And what happens? The relationship either falls apart under the pressure, or the other person gets confused and distant, and you end up with exactly what you feared, being alone again. The avoidance that was supposed to protect you from pain ends up producing it. This is the loop, and most people who are living inside it don't realize it, because from the inside, it just feels like people keep letting you down. Now, to an interesting reveal that trips up a lot of smart and self-aware people. Will Hunting is a genius. He can read people instantly. He can see through manipulation, analyze behavior, articulate psychology better than most therapists. And this strength of his does absolutely nothing for him. Because understanding a wound intellectually is not the same as healing it emotionally. You can know rationally that your avoidance comes from early attachment wounds. You can identify the pattern. You can even explain it to someone else in precise detail. And then, the next time someone gets close, the pattern runs anyway. Because the brain doesn't update emotional learning through information. It updates it through experience, through actually having the feared outcome not happen, through being open with someone and surviving it, through being let down in a small way and discovering it didn't destroy you. Sean doesn't help Will by explaining the theory to him. He helps Will by becoming the evidence that someone can stay. He shows up, session after session, when Will is difficult, when Will pushes back, when Will tries to make him leave. He stays. And interestingly, that is what rewires the pattern, not the insight, the experience. So what actually changes things? The shift from "people I need will hurt me" to "not everyone will" is what actually changes things. Not grand realizations, not a breakthrough in a single conversation, but a small, specific update to your original story. Your original story is, "The people I need hurt me, so needing people is dangerous." The updated story isn't, "Everyone is trustworthy and safe." That would be naive. Your updated story becomes, "Some people hurt me, and that shaped how I see everyone, but it is not proof about everyone." Sean's "it's not your fault" moment works not because it's a magic phrase. It works because it does one specific psychological thing. It separates Will's identity from the pain he experienced. He was hurt, and that was real, but what was done to him is not evidence of who he is, and the people who hurt him are not evidence of what all people are. That separation between what happened and what it means is the first crack in the wall, and once it cracks, the loop starts to change. Now, to the thing that is not commonly said. The people who hurt you most were not random. They were the ones you were most open with, the ones you needed. And that's exactly why it went so deep. Not because something is wrong with you, but because the wound came through the same door as the trust. Your avoidance isn't a personality trait, it's a strategy. A really effective, really expensive strategy your nervous system learned when it didn't have better options. The goal isn't to stop needing people. That's not actually available to you. Why? Because you're human. The goal is to slowly gather evidence that not every person who gets close will do what the early ones did. And that evidence doesn't come from thinking about it. It comes from risking small amounts of closeness and watching what actually happens. That is the work. It's slow, it's non-linear, and it starts with understanding what you just watched in this video. You're not broken. You are only responding to the way someone responds when the people they needed most were not safe. Thank you for watching. If you found value, share in the comments your thoughts on today's subject matter. We will like to hear your strategies. And if you know someone who will benefit from this video, send it to them. Subscribe for more. See you in the next one.